St. Louis is the ultimate river city in North America and one of the river cities of the world. We're at the confluence of two of the greatest rivers in North America, the Mississippi and Missouri. We've got the Merrimack River right here, and then just south of us, we have some of the last remaining high-quality, crystal-clear freshwater streams in the center of the country. We tend to think about water only when there's too much of it or not enough of it. I think we need to think as a society that the water that falls on our landscape as rain is the only resource we have for our water resources, that and what our rivers provide for us. We need to think about how we can manage that for our benefit, to have it as a sustainable flow to meet the needs of people, to meet the needs of our conservation resources, to provide wonderful recreation opportunities that these major rivers provide for us.
Missouri American Water Company is a company that serves about 1.5 million people, and we provide drinking water to that population. And where you're standing right now in this filter gallery is really not even the beginning of the process. You have to go out to the Missouri River, which is where we get our source, through our intake facility, and then it goes through some treatment basins where it receives different forms of treatment to remove soil and to disinfect the water. And then this stage right here in the filter plant gallery is the polishing step, or the final step before it goes to the customer through, in this system, what is 4,200 miles of pipeline, delivering drinking water to the homes and businesses of every customer in this St. Louis County, St. Charles County region.
Public awareness increases when people are directly affected. So when there's a major flood or a major drought, and we've had each in the last couple of years, people suddenly become much more aware because there's damaging consequences. So we should use that as an opportunity to make people aware that there are steps that we as a society can take to integrate sustainable practices into our ongoing infrastructure and development. In many cases, good conservation makes good economic sense, makes good long-term sense for the benefit of the human societies that live and interact in these watersheds.
If we're going to talk about water, water is a great story for our company, a great story for the St. Louis Brewery. I came to the St. Louis Brewery in 1997, and back then, for every gallon of beer we brewed, packaged, and shipped, we would use 9 gallons of water, okay? So 1 gallon was in the beer, and the other 8 we used for a whole variety of purposes. In 2007, we got down to 6 gallons per gallon, and in 2012, we got down to 3.3 gallons per gallon. So we looked at our systems and said, what technology could we use to help us reduce our water usage? So whether it's the installation of automation so that we have better control of our processes, or in some cases we put in reclaim systems so we can collect water after we use it and then reuse it someplace else. Another way we've done it is through what I would call a mindset of just conservancy. So if my job is to clean the floor in this particular cellar, maybe in years past I just didn't pay attention to how much water I would use.
I think one of the problems we have as a society is we have this dichotomy that here's an area where you build your Walmart and you can't think about conservation because jobs are important, and here's a nature preserve and people can't go there. Neither of those is really effective for a sustainable society, and we need to think about both at every point along the spectrum. They'll be weighted differently, but what we do as a society, I think we need to think about how does it affect human economy? How does it affect water resources? How does it affect conservation?
One of the largest challenges we face, not only us, but the whole water industry in this country, is these systems were built 100+ years ago. And like anything, they wear out. It's basically pipes, pumps, and plants, and they all wear out. And the vast majority of the infrastructure we have is right under our feet, underground, in the form of that 4,200 miles of pipe that run just through here in St. Louis County. And as those pipes age, they need to be replaced so that we can continue to have a safe, quality, reliable drinking water supply for the next 100 years.
I'd say we're making progress, but we're also facing daunting challenges that are ever increasing. We're still sending a lot of agricultural sediment and associated nutrients down into the Gulf of Mexico and poisoning the sport fishery there. We're not managing our rivers to the extent we need to be, but we're getting ever better at it. And I'm optimistic because we as a society depend on our rivers and our watersheds, that we're going to succeed. But we've got a long ways to go.
I know we don't appreciate the value of drinking water. Educating our customer base is absolutely critical, because as the users of that drinking water supply, I think the more they know, the more interested and they become in the quality of their drinking water, and we all become stewards in taking care of the environment.
And I think all of us, through time, have gotten just a deeper appreciation of how important it is that we don't waste our natural resources, and water is one of those things.
So if we can get people thinking about the way we interact with water as a people and as a system across the entire landscape, that'll be a great first step.